So good afternoon to all of you. And it is really my pleasure today, just like last year, to convene the finalists of this award. And we are every year reminded how important it is to listen to these young, talented people, not just because they are our retirement program. We heard a bit about aging on this occasion of their presentation, but also because they are the future of our profession, and amongst them, I'm sure that there will be future governors, policymakers, academics, or whatever they care to choose, because they have so much talent. So, I had a chance, as I'm sure you all did, to walk around and talk to some of them and have a look at their posters, and I'm sure that some of you will be reading their papers. But being here is already for all of them an impressive challenge and an impressive achievement. I'm looking at all of you there. You are, in this corner of the room. Because there were over 80 applicants this year. So for the 10 of you to be in this room, to have shared those few days of debates and those social moments, I know some of you enjoyed the dinner last night, and I'm glad that you were with us, is really an achievement. You are the winners, all 10 of you. Your papers really underpin the theme of this year's forum and the macroeconomic shifts that we continue to observe in our work as policymakers. Over the past few days, a selection committee has been very busy reading, evaluating your papers. They reviewed their academic quality and policy relevance, and also took into account the votes of the participants through an online voting portal. Thank you to those of you who have participated in that vote. So let me first of all, before I call you up to the stage so that you can receive your diploma, so to speak, let me first of all thank those who spent time reading and evaluating your paper. They were the selection committee members, so Jordi Galli, Hélène Ray, Philip Hartzman, Isabel van Sinkist, and Francesca Zucchi. Please stand up to be recognized by this room. Thank you much. I would like to now ask you to come to the stage to receive your diploma. We're going to proceed a little bit differently from last year. So each of you will receive his award, not the final award, but there's award, and there will be a photo opportunity. You'll have to move swiftly because the 10 of you will go through this exercise, and the audience is very keen to get out and do something else. So, who do I announce? I have to stay here because otherwise nobody hears me. So Thomas Bourani, here you are, adapting to change, macroeconomic shifts and policy responses. And I think you win the prize of having said hello to as many people as you did in the last 24 hours. Thumb up.
Thank you very much.
And now I call to the stage Leonardo D'Amico, one of the many Italian elegant beneficiaries. So your theme was adapting to change, macroeconomic shifts and policy responses. Thank you so much. I'm now calling to the stage Frédéric Fournet. Adapting to change, no, that's okay. Yeah, no, you stay close to me. Adapting to change, macroeconomic shifts and policy responses. I saw many, many people at your booth over there listening and trying to understand the great work that you've done. So now with adapting to change, macroeconomic shifts and policy responses, Marco Irisari, if I pronounce it right. Thank you so much. So Patricia Massner, adapting to change, macroeconomic shifts and policy responses. Bravo. There is a problem here. Because this one is also adapting to change, macroeconomic shifts and policy responses. This is not that.
Yeah,
La Visa Reiche. And I know this is not it, because you are the one who focused specifically on how gender differences actually matter when it comes to inflation expectations. Yes. So the title is wrong, but the study is great. All right, Giovanni Ciacovelli. Congratulations. Thank you so much. What am I doing? Yeah, okay. So now I call to the stage Jacob Marot Sundran. Congratulations. Okay. And now Giovanni Trebi. The last one, Alena Wabic. There you go. So it's now for me time to announce the winner of this year's Young Economist Prize, who will receive 10,000 euros and the trophy that will be presented in a microsecond to me. Thank you, come over, because I have to hand it over to the winner, who is Alena Wabic.
As Madame Lagarde already said, I'm sure you're all happy to leave, so I'm going to keep it short. Thank you so much. I'm deeply honored, especially because we've seen so many excellent projects the last few days. So I think we can all be proud. And thank you so much for letting us share our work.
Bravo. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. You can stay here, enjoy the moment, because, you know, seeing all these very, very bright policymakers, professors, researchers of all walks of life from where you are is a moment. So keep it. Stay here. So we are now coming to a close, and I owe it to my great team to have quickly summarized what we have done over the last 2 days. And I thought I would remind you briefly. It's going to be short, I promise. So we started Tuesday with a paper on eurosclerosis in the labor market that was shared by the Vice President. And the paper questioned whether over-regulated and rigid EU labor markets are contributing to low euro area productivity. And not all of you in the audience actually agreed with those conclusions. The second paper caught the attention of the media in the room by suggesting that central banks should look at discretionary spending as well as headline inflation, not to be confused with core inflation, although there was a debate on that. Under the supervision of Frank Elderson, that provoked a very lively debate, not least because discretionary spending is done disproportionately by the rich, a 4-words letter that Ajay Banga told us we shouldn't use anymore. Our first panel on Tuesday was focused on heterogeneity and on the implications for monetary policy transmission of different economic structures in euro area countries, brilliantly shared by Isabel Schnabel. And of course, we had an engaging and high-powered policy panel with Jay Powell, Andrew Bailey, Kazuo Ueda, and Ri Chong Young, which I hope I also contributed to a little bit. But I can assure you that all participants who have had to leave earlier have said that they have enjoyed it tremendously, as I hope you did. I would also like to thank, of course, the Young Economist finalists, because not only do you all look fantastic with your diplomas, but you gave us those really sharp, acute, and very bright and quick presentation of the work that you do, and that is a real challenge. This morning, we kicked off the second day of the forum with a paper on non-bank financial intermediaries and the extent to which this wide variety of various animals might be able to contribute more to European growth, as well as the risk to financial stability. We followed up with a paper and discussion on trade, the buzzword of 2025, not to be confused with tariffs, and what the changing structure of global trade means for Europe, shared by Piero Cipollone. And today's panel discussed the challenges of central bank communication, or as Philip Lane noted, channeling Ben Bernanke, whether it is a 2% action and 98% talk or something else. The view from central banking, academia, and journalism taught us about the pros and cons of scenarios, the need to target different audiences with consistent messaging, and the relevance and limitation of artificial intelligence. And we have just ended with this mix of Philip's passion and enthusiasm, together with Lars' pragmatism and focus on what will it take. So, I could not conclude without thanking all of you, the moderators who have done a fantastic job harnessing the talent of the participants, and all of you who have asked questions, and those of you who have not asked questions, because you have clearly paid attention to the last hour of this great conference that I would like to mention will be held next year from June 29 to July 1st. And that will save us having to have the policy panel on the first day, because what we did this time around was to allow some of our American colleagues to return to Washington for their July 4th big celebration, is we had the policy panel on the first day. Next year we will have it on the second day, and that will be in line with the tradition that we have had. I'm not going to say more at this point in time. I would simply note for the record that the organizers of this conference, under the leadership of Isabel Schnabel, Luc Leven, and Philip Hartzman, have managed to almost bring this participation to absolute parity. 11 women, 14 men, between the moderators and the participants, whether on panels or otherwise, is actually something that very few economic conferences managed to deliver. So to them, thank you so much, and thank you for the fantastic work that you've done assembling all these smart people together. Thank you, and see you next year.